Hey there guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea and this is a special user submitted question video. Now where we got this question was every day on the John Campea Show, Monday through Friday, people send in questions, but on the rare occasion that somebody sends in a tip of like $50 or more, I like to honor that by not only answering the question on the show, but also answering it again later in its own standalone video. So that's what we're going to do right now. And this one comes to us from Rich from Queens, who writes, "Had a dream I watched a Justice League versus Avengers real-life movie. Thor versus Superman, Iron Man versus Batman, etc. It was an amazing dream and it got me thinking, what would your dream movie be? Plausible or not, you have full control over the movie gods." All right, thanks for sending that in, Rich. And, you know, for a long time, a lot of people have talked about, and I'm in the minority here, but a lot of people have talked about, oh man, wouldn't it be awesome if we got an Avengers versus Justice League movie? And I'm in the minority. I actually think that would be a mess of a movie. That would just be a complete convoluted mess, and it would make a great YouTube video. I don't think it would make a great motion picture. That being said, there are a lot of possibilities when we think particularly about the comic book genre, because yours seem to be in the comic book genre, about what would a dream movie be to see, you know? Now, it reminds me a lot, that whole Avengers versus Justice League thing, it reminds me a lot of many decades ago. DC and Marvel actually did, and I think they might have done it a couple of times, but I remember this one time in particular, they did this special crossover series that Marvel and DC worked together, and imagine that their two worlds were thrown together and champions from each world had to battle each other, and whichever world had the more champions win their battles, their universe got to survive and the other would be wiped out. And then I believe readers got to vote. But anyway, so they created matchups like Wonder Woman versus Storm, Jubilee versus Robin, Batman, I believe, was versus Captain America, I think, Superman versus the Hulk, on and on and on and on. And so as a comic series, they had these individual battles go, and this person would win, this person would win, and I can't even remember at this point how it ended. I don't think it would have made a very good movie, but it definitely made some pretty fun reading in a comic book. So if I had to come up with a dream movie myself that I would love to see, particularly in the comic book genre, I don't know that it wouldn't be a crossover movie. Now, I love crossover movies, don't get me wrong, but it's not like my dream comic book movie would be one that's some kind of big crossover. It's also not one that's of like an obscure character. I'd love to see more movies about some more obscure characters, but actually mine is one that already had an animated adaptation, but I have been dying for decades to see this as a live action adaptation. And it's based on one of the most important and pivotal comic book stories of all time, The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns was a story that not only revolutionized the way people see Batman. A lot of our understanding of Batman today really finds its roots, or got started, at least got really more solidified in The Dark Knight Returns. It is also one of the most influential comic book stories of all time. It's incredible. It's like this old Bruce Wayne now who has been retired for a long time. He's finally had enough. He's watched Gotham go to crap, and he decides it's time to come out, and there's this new gang called the Mutants, and he decides it's time to come out of retirement and bust some ribs. And anyway, it's a fantastic story, but it's also gritty and awesome. And they even did, about 3 or 4 years ago, they did an animated version of it, and they did a really good job with it. But I myself have been dying for years to see The Dark Knight Returns in an Elseworld kind of a setting, but The Dark Knight Returns molded into a live action film. It's also the story that gave us our first taste of Batman versus Superman, because one of the big climaxes of The Dark Knight Returns is, of course, old Bruce fighting Superman and beating Superman. That happens an awful lot, probably more than it should. But anyway, he beats Superman, and that's kind of how that ends. But anyway, that's the movie to me. If I had my pick of any dream comic book movie scenario that we have not got that I would love to see in a live action environment, I'm going right to The Dark Knight Returns. What about you guys? If you guys were in charge of all the pantheon of the movie studio gods and you could have any comic book movie you'd want to see turned into a live action feature film, what would you pick? Jump on down to the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, that will do it for me, guys, for this video. Thank you so much for being here. My name is John Campea, and until next time, bye-bye.